everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having me at the TEDxVinetaWomen talk. I am very excited to talk about assisting deaf people within inclusive education. When I was born, my mom was so excited to have me. And when I was about 3 months old, my mom wanted to teach me how to speak. And I would look at her, but I'm deaf. And so she tried to teach me the words in Oshwambo, but I just couldn't. Later on, she realized that I am not going to accept it. I'm not going to talk. But it was impossible for her to accept it. She took me to the pastor and she said, "My child is deaf. Come and help me heal my child's ears." They prayed over me. They prayed and prayed, hoping I could come to hear something, but I just couldn't. And then they decided, let's give him to the doctors. Take him to the doctors, fix the ears. What is wrong? Maybe he will hear. Nope, it did not work either. So my mom said, maybe I should just name him Na Popye, because he would not be able to speak. So when I was 7 years old, that is when I realized that I needed maybe to go to the northern regions, around the northern regions of Namibia. There are 27,000 deaf Namibians all over the regions of Namibia. And so in 1999, that was the year I was trying to go to university to learn in school. And my mother made sure that she took me to the special schools. And that is where I came in contact with sign language. When I got there first, I didn't understand a thing that they were saying. Nobody was signing, nobody was talking, because in my world, this was new. And it was a big challenge. I said, I'm going to bully these people because this was my way of coping. I would bully them, take their lunches. There was a lot of bullying going on here. And so when I was about in grade 5, I decided maybe I need to change my behavior for me to have a better future. It's important that I change my mind. I realized that the fighting, the swearing, the bullying had to be put aside. It's time to focus. It's time to learn. And with that, I put my mind to it and I passed. Then I moved to Cosmos High School. There, they have an inclusive school, but they didn't understand me. So they would beat me, the teacher would beat me. And I didn't want that for myself. Because I was naughty and acting out, I realized that this is not the kind of life I want. I don't want to suffer. So when it was time for me to get in the inclusive school, I went and I wanted to make myself proud. I needed to be patient. I followed everybody who was passing. I decided to be friends with hearing people, not to separate them, but to be among them. So if they would speak, I would try to make out what they're saying. We would exchange papers, read some words together. So I taught them how to sign it, and they taught me what the English words were. We became a great community. We worked together, hearing and deaf people, working as a unit. It was great. I'm so happy for this. I loved it. It was amazing. So when I went to Cosmos High School, I was very, very lucky. It was a great opportunity for me to be in an inclusive school. But unfortunately, the government schools are not providing enough access because the interpreters are quite few. This is where the challenge is. The interpreters are less, and I had the biggest challenge again because my dream was going to be affected. I wanted to go into an inclusive school. I wanted to continue my studies, but it was impossible. You see, I had to continue being dedicated. I wanted to go learn to nurse. I applied for engineering. That's what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, they didn't accept me. My points were not enough. Ugh, now what do I do? Where do I go? I need to go to university. I want to change my life. I decided to apply for education. Luckily, the University of Namibia in Kommersdal accepted me. And I said, let me change myself and become the person I desire to be. So it is important now that we have tough challenges. However, we need to rise above them. It's not the challenge that you receive, but rather how you get over it. Now, I did not have the privilege of having interpreters all the time, so I had to make things doable by myself. I asked assistance a lot, and the other challenges came, the financials, paying tuition fees. There was nothing. You were unlucky, you felt guilty. There were so many challenges happening. And even when it came to the research module, I had to gain confidence and strength to pass that module when I had failed it in my 4th year. Funds were scarce, but the goal was clear. And I didn't want to be a hated person in the community. I had to hold on, and I had to continue until I passed in the year 2020. I became the second deaf person to graduate. Yes, that is true. We may have so many barriers, but it's important that you continue advocating for your dreams. Because if you do not, what is going to become of you? So, I decided that I'm going to do whatever it takes to become a good person. Every opportunity I have, I will take. I became an author, not because I am by myself, but because I took people with me to help me become what I want to be. It's all about moving together and communicating. Don't leave one another behind. Encouragement, advice, that is what is important. So, if you want your life to continue being the way it is, keep doing the same things. So my recommendation is that we all, Namibians, change our mentalities, become people of purpose, go, have access to deaf community. These people can change your life. It is not about just following the system, but it is important that we Namibians take up space. Yes, we are different, but we all have different abilities as well. Once we unite, we can make a change. So, when you exchange things like letters and give one another ideas and really become one unit, you are able to change this system, the education system, where deaf assistance can be a part of the system, the education system, where you're teaching deaf children their own language. Deaf assistants are the best for this field, to become primary teachers who encourage, support, and teach deaf learners how to be proud of their deafness. Not to be bullying like I was, but to be the best that they can be. Sign language is easy. You can if you want to. And so, it is important to include sign language in all areas, such as politics, education, business, and all other aspects, public and private. There are many disabilities, but it does not mean inability. So, let us become one, improve one another's lives, and have that mentality that your Namibian challenge will not let you become a sufferer. With this technology, we can become the ones who assist the deaf community. Use the tablets, use the phones, video one another, communicate. You can learn sign language anyway. The opportunities are endless. So, If you feel that you are stuck with something, maybe music, wherever, just remember that a deaf person can do anything as well. So, if we are inclusive, our future will become one that is inadmissible, and we are sure to make sure that education is for all people. Yes, we have many organizations that support deaf people, but we need to advocate for more so we take up more spaces and become an inclusive community. How wonderful would it be if Namibia were to change and become a smart nation that is truly inclusive, truly loving of all persons, ministers, engineers, lawyers, doctors, all spaces can be taken up by all people. We just need to encourage one another the same way that I encouraged myself and all those around me. We can achieve this goal. I believe that deaf people are just as equal as all the others. We can take up all opportunities. So now I want to teach you a sign. Come on. This is how you say thank you. Sign it with me. Thank you. This is hello. Thank you so much.